comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. I'm slightly irritated. All right. We talk about tradition 1 today. Responsibility statement. Good afternoon, Leisure. Took my wife for a little procedure this morning. I did not appreciate how they handled things. I walked in and she was crying. And they said, oh, yeah, my naproxen. I need that. It's just buffed up Advil is all it is. And I think I need one now, actually. And she was crying. And the nurse says, oh, she's okay. And I said, the fuck she is. She's crying. That's not okay in my book. And I'm really upset with the response that I got from central office, man. You know, the total lack of enthusiasm or the caring of what's going on in AA. I think somebody's gotten a little too comfortable in their job. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Claire. Hold on 1 second. I got to yell at a cat. All right. Like I said, I'm a little grumpy. Clara says stray suckers are out today. They are. Everybody's driving like an ass, too. It's like they were had tears of joy. Yeah, I probably wouldn't joke around about my wife. You had tears of joy. Yeah, that it was over. Yeah, sorry, I'm all reactive. I'll get over it. I'll get past myself on that. It's, you know, it really disappoints me that just being so lackadaisical about it. You know, saying I'm unable to meet with you when really it should be I'm unwilling, because that's really what it is. She got plenty of fucking time on her hands. That's clearly apparent. All right. Maybe it's time for a new office manager. So, all right. So let's start with the responsibility statement. What is the AA responsibility statement used for? And please don't just tell me. Okay, good. They didn't do any talking. All right. So, yeah, I can get a little, I take this program really fucking seriously. Me, not so much. That's why, you know, I haven't written back yet, but I'm going to be. And so pray for that Dion has the right words. I'm still going to try and be kind. Absolutely, I am. All right. About central office, try again and stress you're looking for answers. Is there someone? There's no one else there. The rest of them are volunteers. And the reason that I want to talk to her is because it is her responsibility. We are paying her. It is her job to do certain things. And it is not being done. And the abuse of some of our programs like Bridge the Gap. But thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. If there was another way for me to go, I would find the person that is willing. Absolutely, I would. The other thing is, you don't tell me no. That's not an acceptable answer in this case. She can find time in her busy schedule to speak with me about bringing more 12th step calls to us. And if she's not willing to do that, then what she's saying is fuck you and fuck AA and fuck my job. That's how I take it. If you're here, please say hello, even though I probably ran part of the people off already because I'm a little grumpy. All right. I am responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out for help. I want the hand of AA always to be there. And for that, I am responsible. The responsibility statement was written for the 1965 International Convention in Toronto, and it remains a core principle of AA today. That's not true. That's not what I was looking for. What is the responsibility statement? Okay. No, that's not it. They're still wrong. A responsibility statement. Now, what is a responsibility code? All right. Well, since everybody is going to, just give their own thing, I'll go ahead and let you know what the responsibility statement is. The responsibility statement is for the professionals. It's for the doctors, the lawyers, the priests, okay? When they have somebody that needs help with alcoholism, the hand of AA is to be there. And for that, I am responsible. Detoxes, hospitals, insane asylums, sordid places, Skid Row. These are the responsibility statement places. Not waiting until they get into the room. No, the responsibility statement is already over with at that point. Okay. The responsibility statement is it can be kind of malleable. Sure, it can also mean that if my next door neighbor needs help, then maybe I should. But it isn't about the service work. That is not what they are talking about. That was not the intent. It was written for the professionals. It was written for the friends of AA. That's what the responsibility statement is. And it goes right in line with step 12. Doing service work, 12th step calling. These are the things that keep AA whole. It is what creates the unity, and it brings us together on a common purpose, common goal, which is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Good evening, Patricia. It is good to see you. All right. So I'm not going to talk really much more on the responsibility statement because that's it. That's pretty much, I was hoping it'd give me something. But even then, people are like, well, it was created in 1960, but why? Why? Let's ask another. Why was the AA responsibility statement created? See if we get a different answer. Addressing concerns. The statement was developed to address a growing concern within AA that the fellowship's impressive success might lead to a sense of complacency. Nope, that wasn't it. The core statement, this emphasized the individual responsible of each member to participate in AA service. No, it's still wrong. It's not how it says it in AA Comes of Age. That is not what it says in there. Okay, so AI overview, all it really does is it goes and grabs all the stuff it can from Google and it brings it back. Now the information has to be correct on Google, right? Like right now I can what are the 12 principles of AA? Okay. And they're going to be wrong. Okay. We're going to match these up real quick. All right. So here is the correct list of principles. So they always get the first ones right. So step 1, honesty. Step hope, faith, or step 2, hope. Step 3, faith. Step 4, courage. We're good so far. 5, integrity. 6, willingness. 7, humility. 8, love, which is brotherly love. 9, responsibility. No, it's justice. Responsibility and justice are two different things. Discipline. So step 10, it says discipline. Nope, it's perseverance. Discipline and perseverance are two different things. 11, awareness, paying attention to thoughts, feelings, and behaviors to identify triggers. No, that is not the principle. The principle is spiritual awareness through prayer and meditation. Spiritual awareness, which is different from awareness and knowing your own feelings. Okay, that is clinical, not AA. Step 12, service. Can't really fuck that one up. All right, so there you go. See, even the internet can give you the wrong information. It was incorrect, and if you followed those principles, you're gonna get drunk. All right, I know I'm on a roll. Sorry. Well, no, I'm not. You're going to get the Dion you get. I'm not going to try and be fake or anything. So, tradition 1. Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. Yeah, we can't really survive without the groups of people. Michelle says, I'm tripping. I swear we have done this all before. I do a lot of repeating here. I do a lot of repeating here, so good chance this was done before, right? All right, so the unity of Alcoholics Anonymous is the most cherished quality our society has. Our lives, the lives of all to come, depend squarely upon it. We stay whole or AA dies. Without unity, the heart of AA would cease to beat. Our world arteries would no longer carry the life-giving grace of God. His gift to us would be spent aimlessly. Back again in their caves, alcoholics would reproach us and say, what a great thing AA might have been. I'm not willing to get us to that point. Hi, Amber. Amber says, your favorite person is here. Does this mean, some will anxiously ask, that in the AA's individual account for much, is he to be dominated by his group and swallowed up? Now, if that's your concern, you're missing the whole fucking point. I get what they're saying. Oh, no, you're not going to be as popular as you want to be. You're not going to always be the center of attention. You're not going to, sorry, but that's emotional sobriety. And once you become a useful member of society, then that's not really a question that runs through our mind. Okay. Will it be? No. We tout on the individual. We're not going to tell you how to think, what to say, how to act, what to believe in. Everything is suggested. Highly suggested. I mean, we can throw some adjectives in front of that, right? Actually, those would be adverbs. Those would be adverbs. All right. We may certainly answer this question with a loud no. We believe there isn't a fellowship on earth which lavishes more devoted care upon its individual members. Surely there is none which more jealously guards the individual's right to think, talk, and act as he wishes. No AA can compel another to do anything. Nobody can be punished or expelled. Our 12 steps to recovery are suggestions. The 12 traditions, which guarantee AA's unity, contain not a single don't. They repeatedly say we ought, but never you must. Okay? That you must do it this way. You must have it this way. And that helps us because meetings in Pueblo are probably going to be different than the meetings in, let's say, Fort Collins. You're going to have a different set of people with a different set of needs, with different things going on. So it is good that an AA group is malleable. That means that it can shift. It can conform to the needs of the community. That is where Zoom meetings tend to fail. I'm not saying I don't enjoy knowing people from all over the country. Sure, I do. But the AA meeting needs to stick to its community. Grassroots is doing that. We are not on OIAA. No, not until they figure out, and I don't see why you're going to list yourself on OIAA and have a password. I'm sorry, and then list it. All you're doing is creating another barrier for somebody to get in. Really are. There's no point in listing it there. Right? Just watch the names coming in, man. To this day, Grassroots has not had a bomber. We have not had a troll, not one. I get more here than I do than never. We haven't had one because we're not listed in places where people go and find that information. We're listed on DACA. Maybe not for long if I keep pushing my luck with her. Too many minds. All this liberty for the individual spells sheer anarchy. And it would feel like anarchy, but it's not. Isn't that OIA is Online International Alcoholics Anonymous. If you use the Everything AA app and you use the meeting finder, it is OIAA. OIAA got created at the time that the coronavirus came out. That's when it came out. That's when it got started. It's about 4 or 5 years old now, but it is the Online International Alcoholics Anonymous. So, and a great place. They're doing a great job of it. They really are. I like how they're doing, but at the same time, yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about bombers. Every newcomer, every friend who looks at AA for the first time is greatly puzzled. They see liberty verging on license, yet they recognize at once that AA has an irresistible strength of purpose and action. Amber says they are simple rules. Yes, they are. Yes, they are, Amber. Everything in AA is simple. And we have to stop unsimplifying things like the responsibility statement. Hey, it's got to stick to the perfect. See, what I see is the responsibility statement. Everybody's out there thinking that they're doing the responsibility statement by helping, because I poured somebody a cup of coffee or something. No, the responsibility statement is not service. It is for the friends of AA, but we're not even doing that. So therefore, it has been unsimplified. There are reasons for everything in this program, but they need to be applied in the right direction with the right pressure, with the right things. And we got to stop thinking we know what is best on an individual level. Right? Just like the letter that I got back from central office. I read it to you. Everybody here was like, yeah, something ain't right there. I had other people look at it. They're like, no, yeah, something ain't right with that. So anyway, right? So the thing is this, and why do we stick together? Because we're giving up some things like power, control. We finally realize that we are one small cog in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Can I save the world? No. Can I help my community? Yes. And I got to keep it simple. Right? So you're going to, the theme behind tradition 1 is sacrifice. It means that you're going to give up things, money, time, pride, ego, anger. Those who look closely soon have the key to this strange paradox. The AA member has to conform to the principles of recovery. His life actually depends upon obedience to spiritual principles. because we have to. Patricia says, and it keeps me humble. Yes, thank you, Patricia. Thank you. I was searching for the right word in my head. That was it. It was, we're going to find a level of humility. We AA is not the alpha omega. We can't cure everything. No, it doesn't work like that. Nor do we claim to. But we're really good at what we do, which is helping other alcoholics achieve sobriety. And we stay sober by doing that. But we have got to conform to the principles. And I just read the principles a minute ago, the correct principles. Okay. And I know that those are the correct principles because those are the principles I learned in the late 80s, early 90s. And Google wasn't around yet. People hadn't been able to distort them or see, that was just changed so that somebody felt better about their own ninth step. They don't want to bring it to justice. They want to hold on to certain things. They want to keep that character defect. They don't want to make the harder admissions. But that's the only way to true justice. Right? But humility, this tradition 1 keeps us humble as a group of people. Right? So whenever I hear all recovery meetings or any A meeting, I already know they have no clue what tradition 1 is. I mean, I get it. I understand why. But it ain't, what really is an all recovery meeting? Well, there's got to be somebody there that's looking to make money somehow. Or popularity. I've been to a couple NEA meetings and it's just about popularity. There's usually one popular person in the groups, usually somebody who's a little bit more popular because they're an actor or something else. I've been to plenty of those meetings. And I can tell you something right now, just because somebody is an actor or any of these other things doesn't mean that they have a better handle on AA. It's not what it means. Yes, there is at 5 p.m. A lot of people have been asking about the meeting. We have a meeting today, 5 o'clock. So in an hour and 9 minutes. So he depends upon obedience, spiritual principles. If he deviates too far, the penalty is sure and swift. He sickens and dies. At first, he goes along because he must. But later, he discovers a way of life he really wants to live. That's, what I would describe that as is when we come into the meeting, we have to. When we start in AA, we kind of have to do things. Then we get to a point where we understand that we get to. And it's something that we find that, when we find that character building and humility is the way to go and the answer to a lot of what we're doing, now we're on the ball. Now we got something going for us. That was my experience. Moreover, he finds he cannot keep this priceless gift unless he gives it away. What does give it away mean? It means freely. It means with no attachments, no strings. Nope. Mm-mm. That's it, Patricia, because we want to. Would you rather somebody needed you in their life, or would you rather somebody want you in their life? I know which one I'd go for, the want. I'd want them because that means I'm something of value. Need means that you're going to be dependent upon me, and that's a little scary, huh? Hello from Toledo. Hi, Heather. Good to see you. Way to go, Ohio. Pretenders. Oh, pretenders. But way to go, Ohio. So, Heather, I don't know if you knew this, but you're probably, I don't know how far away Akron is from you, but one of the co-founders of AA has a house there that you can go tour. You can tour Dr. Bob's house. So, moreover, he finds he cannot give away, neither he nor anybody else can survive unless he carries the AA message. Wow, what a responsibility. What a weight. What a weight. Nobody else is going to survive unless I do what I'm supposed to do. Oh, shit. That is probably the biggest level of accountability an alcoholic can have. You'll hear me say this. Misinformation in recovery has the power to kill. There it is. You want me? Oh, I want you to want me. I want you to want me. I need you. The other song that's popular is the one I like, though. Mama's all right. Daddy's all right. They just seem a little weird. They're stoners. Right? So nobody else can survive unless he carries the AA message. The moment this 12-step work forms a group, another discovery is made that most individuals cannot recover unless there is a group. I can't. I'll admit it right now. That's why I started these lives, because I couldn't get to AA meetings. My PTSD was just not allowing it. But I had to have some kind of fellowship, and that's how this started 7 years ago. Probably figured out by now that I was 2 years sober. Yeah. I'm nuts, man. Oh, it's crazy. When people are like, yeah, you're crazy. I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm crazy. You better watch what you say. Because I might take it all crazy, like, whoa. Akron, Heather says Akron is a bit away. Toledo is just on the border with Michigan, about an hour from my house. Okay. Yeah, cheap trick. Yep, little cheap trick. All right. Realization dawns that he is but a small part of a great whole, that no personal sacrifice is too great for the preservation of the fellowship. Feels a little religion-y, doesn't it? Guy feels like born again. Made Jehovah Witnesses. You're spreading the word, man. That no personal sacrifice is too great for the preservation of the fellowship. I tell you, it sounds like an extreme line. But I have not been asked to sacrifice anything that I wasn't willing to let go of. I have not been asked that. Well, would you give up your wife? Would you do that? No, see, that's not going to happen. I don't need to worry about that. And the answer to that would be no. Fuck you. No. I'd stop going to meetings before I lost my wife. Sorry. But see, God's never going to ask me to do that. God will never ask me to do that. What do we sacrifice? Time, and then sometimes money. Sometimes we use material things to 12th step other people into recovery. What are they? Well, let's see. We got big books, gas in your car to go wherever it needs to go, things like that. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So I'm just, this is the way that I say it. And I'm going to go to the terminal uniqueness. We alcoholics tend to think that we're terminally unique, but we're not. We're beautifully unique, but not terminally. Terminally means that nobody else in this world has my problems. And that's just not true. But when alcohol isolates you, when it sets you apart, it's sure going to fucking feel that way. It is. AA is like a snowstorm. Every single one of those snowflakes is different. They might be close, but each one is beautifully unique until it hits the ground. Then it becomes a part of a whole. But without that beautiful uniqueness, Without that, we can't have unity. See, everybody in AA has different skills. Some are better with the money. Some are better at running meetings. Some are better at reading. Some people make better coffee. But we all have our skills, and we utilize those skills. We take those skills and we pull them together so that we are whole. Without the meetings, I'm not whole. Without brotherhood, without sisterhood, without God, I am not a whole person. I'm a spiritual being living in a human meat sack. And I need it. I need the guidance. Without it, I will go do whatever the fuck I want to. And that's no good. Amber says she's at the park with Isaac. Don't get blown away. Wind's coming in. I'm in shorts today. Tomorrow I'll be back in mittens. Supposed to snow tomorrow, supposedly. Heck, I don't know. The only requirement to be a meteorologist in Colorado is you got to be good looking. That's about the only requirement. He learns that the clamor of desires and ambitions with him must be silenced whenever these could damage the group. It becomes plain that the group must survive or the individual will not. And it says it becomes plain, so they're kind of doing that, being nice about, for me, this is nothing close, anything close, but to just a fact. Right? Because now we can find reasons to stay sober. Well, I got a meeting later. I don't want to lose my friends. I don't want to lose my treasurer position. I don't want to, well, now I got to chair a meeting later. I can't drink right now. See, these things keep us sober. Especially when you find true friendship, man. Yeah. So at the outset, how best to live and work together as groups became the prime question. In the world about us, we saw personalities destroying whole peoples. The struggle for wealth, power, and prestige was tearing humanity apart as never before. If strong people were stalemated in the search of peace and harmony, what was to become of our erratic band of alcoholics? As we had once struggled and prayed for individual recovery, just so earnestly did we commence to quest for the principles through which AA itself might survive. On anvils of experience, the structure of our society was hammered out. We got to learn. We got to learn. A lot of people now saying that things are antiquated or they're this or they're that. I'm going to tell you something. In the 90 years that Alcoholics Anonymous has been around, we have not gotten any smarter. If anything, we've all gone to Jupiter and gotten stupider. Like, do not eat on Tide Pods. Coffee is hot. I used to have a manual and teach you how to do everything in the car. Now it says, don't lick the battery. Gotten smarter? Oh no, we've gotten lazier. It's what we've gotten. Convenience. Ooh, convenience. We love our convenience. The more convenient your life is, the less freedom you have. All right? Same here. And we've got to learn from the experience of the people that came before us. And there's a lot of people refusing to do it. I've been hearing a lot of Bill bashers lately. I will say something. Don't bash Bill in front of me. This program was divinely inspired, man. It was created by God. And if you're putting down Bill, the human being, then really maybe you need to do another 4-step. Maybe you got a resentment against Bill because he was smarter than you, because he knew more than you. Maybe you're upset because you don't get to be the next co-founder. It's like when they said that they were going to write the plain English big book. I don't understand it. I'm not going to read it. My question, who's going to write it? Because God picked the last one. God picked the last one. And we're going to decide all by ourselves. Big book's already dummy for a Bible for dummies. What else do we need, man? God forbid we pick up a fucking dictionary and look up a word to see what it actually means. Oh, we've got to put it in plain English. What is plain English anymore anyway? Right? The big book is written in proper English. It still is to this day. There might be a few buzzwords in there that were slang at the time, like John Barleycorn, but God forbid. I mean, all you got to do is ask your phone. How convenient is that? We used to have to pick up this. See, when I went to meetings in the beginning, there was the big blue book, the big book, and then there was this even bigger book that was red, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and we had a dictionary at every meeting so that if we didn't know the word or maybe even misunderstood it a little bit, I look up words here quite often. There's one right in how it works where people feel like, I don't know if I'm constitutionally incapable of being honest. Okay, way to use two $10 words. Good job. But what you just said doesn't match. Because that's just a fancy way of saying denial. And you already admit that you were in denial. The dictionary taught me that I didn't know the definition of every word and I didn't know every word. Yeah, I still look stuff up. Because I'm like, now I know that means that in my head, but what does it really mean according to this? And then it changes the whole fucking paragraph. And then it makes sense to me. Yeah. See, you got to put in effort, man. You got to put in effort. All right. Countless times in as many cities and hamlets, we reenacted the story of Eddie Rickenbacker and his courageous company when their plane crashed in the Pacific. Like us, they had suddenly found themselves saved from death, but still floating upon a perilous sea. How well they saw that their common welfare must come first. None might be selfish with water or bread. Each need to consider the others, and in abiding faith, they knew that they must find their real strength. And in this, they did. In measure, to transcend all defects of their frail craft, every test of uncertainty, pain, fear, and despair, and even the death of one. What they're saying is, if they wouldn't have pulled together, none would have lived. They would have lost more than one. Everybody. If somebody was selfish of water or bread or food, and they had to work together as a group. Now, if they would have done it their individual ways, all would be dead. They wouldn't have made it because certain people have certain skills. All right. Thus, it has been by AA. By faith and by works, we've been able to build upon the lessons of an incredible experience. They live today in the 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous, which, God willing, shall sustain us in unity for as long as he may need us. I'll be honest, I hope God keeps needing us for it. I do. I really do. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. We got a meeting in 52 minutes. If you'd like to join us, just let us know. But yeah, thank you, everybody, for being here. This was a good one. I thought it'd be best that I do something like this first before I wrote her back, because the office manager back, because I want to be kind about this. And there's part of me that just wants to fucking slap her. Jesus. Well, it's just rude. And I'm like, wow. Okay. All right. All right. I can't sit there and say it's rude when I don't know everything. So I got to take that back. 10th step. There you go. I don't need to feel bad about it. Don't owe an amends. There we go. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Excuse me. Peace out. And